So, what do you think it's going to be like when you live in your college dorm? Whatever it is, it's going to be quite different when you have ADHD. And I've gone through that whole process over 4 years when I lived there. And I'm going to tell you all the different things that will help you actually deal with dorm life. How do you like being in noisy places? Because in a dorm, it's always pretty noisy. Whether it's just people going by your dorm room and just talking loudly to each other, or somebody coming in from being out all night partying, or loud music being played like down the hall or down a few rooms. So it is. And the thing about it is, they do say you have quiet hours where you're supposed to be quiet at certain times, but there are really no quiet hours in the dorm, basically. Even though they say quiet hours, there's still a lot of noise going on all the time in a dorm. So in a dorm, just expect there's going to be a lot of noise most of the time. And so what you want to do is you want to have noise canceling headphones, just so that when you're in the dorm, if you want to study, if you just want to get away from the noise, you can put them on and then drown out everything, or just have the ones where you can listen to just what you want to listen to, and all the other noise you can't hear at all. How do you like sharing things with people? Because in a dorm, you're going to be sharing a lot of things. And what I mean, you're going to be sharing your shower, your bathroom, your laundry room, your kitchen. All these things are communal. Now, in your like suite area, generally with me, I had 4 people in a suite together. So that's 8 people because everybody had roommates. So 8 people are sharing 1 shower and 2 sinks. So just think about that when you're in a dorm and trying to figure out, okay, how many people are in my suite? How many people have rooms that are sharing this area? So then you can figure out, okay, I need to figure out when these people are going to be using these things, so I can kind of plan around that and find a time that I can use those things without getting frustrated that someone is using one of those things that you actually want to use. Have you ever had a roommate? Because in college, you're probably going to have one, and there are some things you need to know. One, if you can help it, don't room with your best friend. It's cool, you might be best friends at home, but when you live with somebody for day in and day out, you find out some things that you didn't know before, and you tend to get on each other's nerves if you're too close and living together. The next thing is you do have to communicate with your roommate, because even if you're an introvert, you still have to be able to talk to them and be able to figure out, okay, hey, what do you like? Are there certain things you don't like that, so I can avoid those things? And one of the great ways that you can communicate with your roommate is to have a dry erase board. You can actually write notes back and forth on the dry erase board. Also, maybe sticky notes, and that way you can write notes and leave them on their desk or on your desk, and y'all can communicate back and forth with each other without having to sit down and have a conversation if you are both busy. How independent are you? Because if you were at home and always needed help with certain things like getting up, making sure you got your homework done, making sure you got the class and everything, then living in the dorms will be a lot different, because you do have to figure out all of that stuff on your own. You don't have any guardrails anymore that are going to say, hey, you need to make sure you get here, go there, do this, do that. All of that is up to you now when you're living in the dorms. You are completely basically on your own, instead of all the things being really structured. So when you have ADHD, that can be a real problem. And a few things that will help you stay on track are going to be timers for when you're studying, taking just a certain amount of time to study and then taking a break, or just clocks in general so that you know what time it is all the time. Be, using time awareness, or having a calendar in your phone or physical one so you can write down different dates and stuff. All these things will help you kind of stay on track as you're going through school. Can you bring yourself to say no? And the reason is because in college, you're going to have peer pressure a lot of the times. Hey, let's go over here and do this instead of studying. Let's go out and just have fun. Or, hey, let's go over here and go party or whatever. And, try this and do this, and your friends are all telling you all this to go here and go there. And it's just one big, huge place that you can get distracted. And there might be things that you don't want to do, and you're getting peer pressured into it. And because you're peer pressured, you give in and say yes. And then you do something that is not a good thing when you realize it afterwards. So just be aware that you have to get used to saying no to things. What are some things that make your room really comfortable at home? In a dorm, you're gonna get it as is. You have a nice fluffy bed at home that you just love. Well, in a dorm, you're getting a bed and a mattress that may not be as comfortable. The walls may not be the perfect color for you when you walk into the room as well. And the other thing is, it just comes as is, as the last person left it. And if it's not like broken or something that's not really bad in it, then generally they just leave it, right? They don't go and come in and correct it. Do you have a curfew at home? How do you like it? Well, in college, if you live in the dorms, you do have a dorm curfew in general. In most dorms, they say, hey, you have to be in at this time, and we will come around and check to make sure that you are not in the lobby just wandering around the dorm. They're going to come around and tell you, hey, you need to go to your room, go to bed, whatever it is. And they do not generally let people in the dorm after a certain time, because I'll have someone at a desk or something saying, hey, you can't come in at this time because it's past a certain time. Now, it may be different at other schools and other dorms, but in general, most of them, I think, have a dorm curfew. So be aware of that when you're there, find out what time the curfew is and what time that it ends, because it does end the next day. How clean of a person are you, and how clean do you like your environment? Because in a dorm, people have different levels of actual cleanliness, and then how clean they keep their environment. So be ready that if you are a person that's just like, I have to have everything straight and clean and things like that, that not everybody else in the dorm is going to be like that. Or you might have someone that is just complete chaotic room. They leave stuff all over everything. When you go in the bathroom, all their stuff is on the counter. You can't find any place to put your stuff. Do you lose track of things a lot at home? It might be the same thing at college. Even in a smaller room, you're still going to misplace things. Get one of those tile things you add to important stuff so it's easy to find that stuff. Also, get a bed caddy, because one, it's going to make it so that you're able to have your phone right on the side of your bed, or anything else you need right on the side of your bed. And so that way you don't have to look all around the room and stuff for, hey, I can reach down, find that thing, or reach over and find that thing. How good are you at actually scheduling things? Because in college, you're going to have to deal with a lot of schedules. One, you're going to have your class schedule where you've scheduled all your classes. So you have to figure out, okay, when do I have to leave my dorm to get to those classes? And do actually know where those classes are? Also, you're going to have to figure out a schedule with your roommate as well, because there might be certain times they need to be in the room and you need quiet and peace and stuff like that so that you can actually study. Or there might be times that you're just like, hey, I'm going to be gone for this amount of time, and your roommate knows that. So now they can schedule their stuff around that as well. And then sleep schedule is another thing. Now, I know a lot of people are like, hey, I have ADHD. I don't get a lot of sleep anyway, so it's all good. But the thing about it is, if you stay up till 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning and your roommate's like, hey, I go to bed at 10, I have to be up at class at this time. I'm in bed at 10. So what do you do when they are getting ready to go to bed at 10 and you're still wide awake, right? So you do have to figure out how you work that out, because some roommates are fine. Like, hey, you can have the TV on, whatever. It's not going to bother me. But if the TV does bother them, then you have to figure out another place to kind of go and be until you can get ready to go to sleep, and then maybe come back in the room and fall asleep and not disturb them. Now, the best thing is if you both are stay up, have the same schedule, and you're good to kind of go to bed at the same time, all that kind of stuff. What do you need to get to sleep? Because you may need background noise, certain sounds or whatever, you have to clear that with your roommate, make sure you're not disturbing them as well. Maybe you need the sound of a fan or something, or you're just like, hey, I like my side of the room colder, because in the dorm, you don't control the AC. Everybody's AC is the same. So if your dorm's cold, it's cold. But if your dorm's hot or warmer than you actually like it, then you have to just adjust and figure out those kind of things. How late do you eat or snack? Very important that you find all the places that stay open late, that deliver late, that you can get some kind of food. And now I think they even have insomnia cookies, so you can order cookies really late into the evening as well. But you want to find all those places, because I guarantee you there's going to be some nights that you're up, you're studying, and you're like, I just want something to eat right now. And then you're going to want to find some place that delivers. I used to, when I was in school, there used to be a guy that comes around and had extra pieces that he didn't sell during the day. So he'd bring them around to the dorms and he'd give us a piece for $5, because he's like, I have to throw it away anyway if I don't get rid of it. He just would come around, hook us up, So those things are really cool. but of course, then we got really sick of pizza all the time. But the point is, you want to make sure that you have some place that you can go to get something to eat late at night, because you generally are gonna stay up late at night at some point during your college career. Now, this video is just about surviving in the dorms and dorm life. I do have one that has general knowledge about surviving college with ADHD, and I'll set that video up for you so that when you see the link, all you have to do is click it and it will take you to that video, and go ahead and watch that video.